A swordfish shot
no.
out of the water.
Oh no, don't tell me it hits her.
Point
Yeah, Zack Films is traumatizing. Because what do you mean a guy stuck his tongue out, then a snake immediately bit it? You're seeing a group of people attend a concert, then get burned alive. And some died.
She soaked the beans overnight, then crushed them into a paste before squeezing the juice out through a cloth. Next, she added water and dipped in a paintbrush and wrote her essays about ninjas on this traditional Japanese
What we doing, bro?
paper,
What we doing here?
just like real ninjas used to do. But as it dried, the words disappeared.
What?
The professor received only a blank page. He was confused until he saw the instructions.
Heat the
He
paper.
held the paper over his gas stove, and the heat slowly turned the soybean
What?
juice brown, which revealed the student's
Yo.
essay, giving her top marks for creativity.
Yo, so if I do that, I can get an A+ on everything. I mean, that's kind of cool regardless, yo. Invisible ink. My teachers wouldn't put that much effort. Yeah, heating your student's essay over the stove. Yeah, they ain't doing that, bro. They ain't doing that. My teacher would still fan me, bro. Yeah. That's the expected reality.
They poured the colored cornstarch into the air cannon and pulled the trigger, blasting it toward the lights to give the show a cool effect. But the stage lights were extremely hot, and the powder's packaging specifically said not to use it under high temperatures.
Explosion?
This is because cornstarch burns super easily.
Okay.
The organizers ignored the warnings, and the dust turned into a giant
my.
fire.
Oh.
It spread through the air and onto the hundreds of people near the
my
stage.
gosh.
The staff grabbed the wrong type of fire extinguisher, and the carbon dioxide that sprayed out pushed the cornstarch cloud around.
Oh, you're making it worse! They're making it worse!
500 people were injured, and 15 later died, all from a completely preventable accident.
Yeah, nah, Zack Film is traumatizing. Because what do you mean you're gonna go to a Travis Scott concert or a Drake concert or Olivia Rodrigo concert, right? And they do something like this, boom, fireball. You thought it's just like some graffiti. Next thing you know, I'm on fire!
He stuck his tongue out to copy the snake, but it lunged forward and bit him. See, he performed this with snakes for years, and it was usually well behaved. But rattlesnakes can't see that well, so the man's tongue just looked like a threat. This scared the snake and bite him. His tongue ballooned up as the venom spread.
Oh my
through his
gosh!
body,
Wait, that's so
and
bad.
He was rushed to the hospital.
Did he die?
He survived, but he never looked at the snake the same way.
Nah, that's valid though. Cause imagine your own pet just bites you randomly. Like, come on, bro. I thought we buddies. You feel me? I'm doing all that Houdini music.
When the fish is chased, it builds up speed.
Come on, move.
Oh,
let's go.
Water. Then it spreads its giant fins as if
Yeah,
they were
that's so
wings,
cool.
which catch onto the wind. And this keeps it gliding forward for hundreds of feet, leaving the predator behind. Finally, it slips back into the sea, having survived another day.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Bro, that's probably like the best feeling ever, bro. Like, you're able to swim for like ever, but not only that, you could fly for what? It said hundreds of miles. Like, that's so cool. When a bird dated a fish, and here we are. This is hands down the closest method for a fish to escape a predator. Facts, bro.
They would throw the spear right toward the shield, and when it hit, the heavy weight of the spear would drive the thin metal shaft straight through it.
Yo, sorry, I gotta pause. What's the point of the shield then? Yo!
Now, if they tried to pull it out, the metal tip would dig into the back of the shield, making it impossible to remove. Because it was heavy and awkward, it forced them to drop it, leaving them completely exposed to the Roman soldiers who cut them down with swords.
Yo, come on, that's not fair, bro. Yo, that's like cheating, bro. Zack animations don't need to raise, they need to rest. Yo, not gonna lie, this was pretty W animation. Look at the cinematic lighting, and like you hear the sound effects here.
The metal
like right here.
Would dig into the
Yo, you're damn.
If you grab a mallet and start pounding a chicken breast, you break the fibers and thin the meat. And the thinner it is,
beating the meat, bro.
The faster heat moves through it, cooking it in no time. But what if your guests are already at the door and you need to cook the chicken extremely fast? Well, you would need to slide it between soft belts and send it through 15 pairs of rollers.
Like I have
each one
this.
squeezing it it a little thinner until you end up with a piece of chicken that's 4 feet wide.
Just give me the chicken breast, bro.
You need a pan bigger than a coffee table, but only 18 milliseconds to fry it.
Just give me the chicken breast, bro. Bro, find solutions to problems that don't exist. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? I asked for our chicken, not our tortilla, bro. Exactly, not our chicken tortilla. Like, bro, Zach, who has this contraption right here?
They would hold their hand over the lamp, then spark the flint wheel, igniting a highly flammable gas.
Snap.
This was released when the miner turned a lever, opening a valve which dripped water onto special gray rocks. The chemical reaction between them sent gas into the lamp's nozzle, and when the miner held his hand over it, gas would gather there, lighting the lamp.
What?
But since
That's
coal
so
mines
cool.
were full of other dangerous gases, the open flame could set them off, causing massive explosions and killing dozens.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, buddy. That's cool. I feel, not gonna lie, now just watching Zack D films for like 1,000 times, you gotta appreciate his work. Like, I feel like I'm gonna take his work for granted, but dude, like all these animations he be doing.
He tried to renew his ID, but the worker told him that he was dead.
What?
Sorry. A few years earlier,
What,
he
how
was
do you mean
drowning in debt, so he ran away. And after 8 years, the court declared him dead.
What?
His official records were changed while his family moved on. So after he couldn't get the ID, he tried changing his living status. But the judge told him that he missed the deadline years ago. So even though he was clearly alive, the court just dismissed him, and he's still legally dead to this day.
Wait, y'all gotta think about it though. He don't gotta pay taxes. Is this the method, bro? Do I have to run away for 8 years, come back, and be classified as dead? Oh, hold up. He could legally get away with a crime. That's what I'm saying, bro. Does that mean no taxes? I glitch in the matrix.
Carefully place the tiny shrimp into your mouth.
What are we doing?
Fill it up with water, and once inside, it would swim around your gums, picking at food scraps with tiny pincers and keeping your mouth clean.
Hold
But
up.
they can grow over 2 inches, so they might scrape up your tongue just by moving around. Now, they usually pluck parasites and dead tissue off fish, and because they're from the ocean, they could carry harmful germs on their bodies, which could make you extremely sick.
I mean, just don't swallow, right? Nah, never mind. Bacteria will still go down your throat. Using shrimp as a toothbrush is strange, but is it really effective? Yeah, just floss, y'all. You don't need to be doing all this. Do you have a floss? No, but I do have a shrimp. Imagine someone does that. That'd be hilarious.
If you were blind, you could put on these glasses that record everything in front of you through a tiny camera, which sends the signals into the device on your tongue. You see, your tongue has some of the most sensitive nerves on your body, and the tiny zaps would create patterns that you could actually feel. With practice, your brain can learn to interpret them as shapes and objects, letting you walk safely through a doorway using your tongue instead of your eyes.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'd rather like have my tongue to taste food, cause food, hey, y'all know food is amazing, y'all. I love my burgers, my cheeseburgers with no cheese. Hold on, let me taste the room real quick. That's what I said, bro. That's why biting your tongue hurts so. Oh, I hate this feeling, man. It's just so annoying, bro. Worst feeling ever, especially early on when eating your meal. Oh.
They drilled into the rock, packed the hole with dynamite, and blew the top off the island. Then they covered the whole thing in thick concrete and placed huge guns on top until it looked like a giant stone battleship. The guns were big enough to hit enemy ships up to 11 miles away, forcing them to avoid the island entirely. And since the walls were made of thick concrete, they were strong enough to handle any explosions. But enemy forces eventually took over the island, so U.S. troops pumped thousands of gallons of fuel through the
Wait, no,
vents
don't tell me you
before
burn
lighting it from the outside. A giant slab of concrete on top blasted straight into the air, and fire tore through every hallway, turning the inside of the island into a furnace, destroying everything inside. Today, it's an empty concrete shell scorched inside out.
You know how crazy that is? They were burned out. I mean, obviously, but they were literally burned alive with no way to escape because it has to be protected, hard sealed from enemy fire, bro. Oh my, that's scary. This sounds like a mastermind plan from a super some villain movie, bro. Yeah.
She held the fitness tracker in her mouth before jumping into the pool. But as she was swimming, she suddenly swallowed it. Now, these batteries could leak, releasing toxic chemicals into her body.
Wait, please tell me she survived. Sorry, I gotta pause it.
So doctors performed surgery to pull it out. But when they did, they found it was fully intact. They synced it to the app and found it had tracked every single step since she swallowed it. It counted her calories and even tracked her sleep cycle, all from inside her body.
Oof. Goodness, she survived, bro. Stalker's getting real quick. Yeah, getting real creative, tracking calories, steps, and sleep, bro.
He took the pieces of bone and stained them darker and filed down ape teeth to make them look worn. You see, some say the man wanted to become a famous scientist, so he buried the pieces next to some animal bones. And when he dug them back up, he claimed he had found the missing link between humans and apes.
Fake it till you make it, stupid.
He was praised for his work, but decades later, scientists discovered the skull pieces were from a modern human, while the jaw was taken from an orangutan, and they realized that it was nothing more than just a hoax.
Bro, this mother trucker was the one that created this? Oh my gosh. If we were to become famous scientists by doing literal fraud is diabolical. Totally jaw-dropping, literally. Oh, what we doing, bruh? Honestly, I respect it. He's got his money. He was famous at the time, and no one could do anything because he's dead. I'm good, bro.
The girl stepped on something solid while playing in the shallow water. At first, it seemed like a stick, but when she pulled it out, she realized it was actually a sword. Now, it looked like it was rusted and chipped, but when she showed her dad, he realized it could be valuable. So they took it to a museum, and experts told the girl her sword was over 1,000 years old. And what looked like rust was actually an ancient leather sheath. It had belonged to a warrior and dated back before the Vikings, somehow ending up in the lake until the girl found it.
Do we know how much it's worth? Please tell me how much it's worth. At least $1 million, right? It's crazy how people would just stumble over generational wealth. But do we know? Like, do you know? Like, okay. Wait. For those who want more, worth. There we go. All right, let's read this, y'all. I'm actually interested. The sword is found by 8-year-olds. Blah blah. Researchers say it's priceless, but she only awarded. Oh hell no. That's it, $1670. However, if it was actually sold instead of being given to a museum, it would have been around 100K based off of similar swords. So in this condition, are you serious? Bro, scam! Priceless, but $1670, bro. Yeah.
If you sucked up all the water on Earth and put it into a giant vacuum container before squishing it into one water droplet, how big would that droplet be?
That's huge.
Water covers 70% of Earth's surface, but even though it looks like a lot, it's actually spread pretty thin. So if you stood next to it, it would stretch upwards for hundreds of miles, reaching all the way past the International Space Station. But from space, it'll just look like a small blob on Earth's surface.
Nah, that's cap. That's gotta be cap, bro. You know why I say this cap? Because think about it. Apparently, if you put Mount Everest into the deepest part of the ocean, only like its tip would be seen or something. There's no way that's it. Nah, I don't believe this, bro. Your math is wrong, Zack Phillips. At this point, he's just testing the limits of his Bro has a sweatshop of animators.
He snorted the paint up his nose, held his breath, and blew air upward.
What are we doing?
This pushed the paint up through small tubes that connects the nose and the eyes.
Yo, what the
until it reached his tear ducts. Then the paint came out of his eyes and dripped straight onto the canvas below.
What the frick?
See, as a child, he learned air and liquid could pass from his nose to his eye.
Yo.
And years later, he turned that trick into art. Eventually, he became a world-famous painter, selling each painting for thousands. But this can cause serious damage to your eyes, so you probably shouldn't try it.
Yo, so you're saying $1,000 for this? Buddy, take any toddler in kindergarten and they can do the exact same thing, bro. I thought the paint was gonna reach his brain, bro. I thought he was about to do some like crazy drag activities.
They dumped the bodies in a valley because there were too many, and a young leopard began eating them. Now, eventually, the sickness darkness went away and the bodies stopped coming. But since the leopard had already tasted human flesh, it wanted more. It began to hunt people. Villagers shut themselves inside, but it clawed through the doors, killing people while leaving most other prey alone. Over the next 8 years, it ate over 100 people before it was finally killed.
Boom! 100 people? Yo, leopard of blah 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 killed by Jim Corbett. Wow, so this is an actual real thing. Let's search this in Google real quick. Let's do a little fact check on Zack D Films, y'all. Oh hell no, this is crazy.
They sliced off part of the ladybug's
what are we doing? Sorry, what
shell?
Come
on a clear plastic replacement. You see, when a ladybug flies, it lifts up the outer shells and snaps out tiny wings from underneath, giving them a quick way to escape predators. And when they land again, the wings get folded up. But the process is too fast for the human eye to see, so scientists made part of its shell transparent and set up a slow-motion camera. And for the first time ever, they saw the wings follow secret crease lines as the abdomen pulled them in, folding them back inside the shell in less than a second.
Oh no, damn. It just makes you think like this about the small world more. You feel me? Like ladybugs. Y'all, ladybugs are literally like this tiny, y'all. Ladybug watching this. Yep, that's correct. The outside shell is called an Electra. Minecraft?
A swordfish shot out of the water.
Oh no, don't tell me it hit her.
Point pierced her skin. It drove 2 inches into her heart and knocked her off her board. Now she managed to raise her arm for help, and 2 other surfers pulled her to shore. They rushed her to a medical clinic.
Oh my gosh!
Doctors desperately tried to save her, but
no
the
way.
wound was too deep.
That's so deep.
Sadly, she didn't survive.
Oh my gosh, yo, that is crazy. That fish broke her heart, bro. Facts. Thought I was gonna hear more from Zack D Films, bro. Honestly, as crazy as this is, it's already crazy enough. You know what I mean? That's literally one of my worst fears. If you ever to like deep fish, a stab by a swordfish!
As she dropped coins into the cup, she didn't notice her engagement ring falling in. And when he saw it, he couldn't believe his eyes. Now, a jeweler offered him $4,000.
That's little.
And for him, this could mean a fresh start. But it also meant betraying the one person who showed him kindness. So he held on to it, waiting at the same spot they had met. And when she did finally come back, he returned it without asking for anything. The woman was so moved, she ended up raising almost $2,000 for him.
That's what I'm talking about.
50 times what the ring was worth. He was able to buy a house and even reconnect with his long-lost family, all because he chose to do the right thing.
Yo, that was a beautiful story, bro. I gotta lie, bro. This is the first time Zack D Films ever made me smile, bro. Instead of it being traumatizing, it made me smile of how fortunate doing good things will be rewarded. There you guys have it, bro. Zack D Films is traumatizing, but sometimes awesome. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here.